Hi, I'm Nicola, the Bonnie Gardener. Hi, I hope you all had a super Easter weekend and managed to stay in even with the nice weather, and that you didn't eat too many Easter eggs. I absolutely love this time of year. The garden is starting to come to life and there is buds in the trees and flowers coming out of the ground. I also love going out into the countryside where we're lucky enough to live and seeing the sheep with their little lambs in the field. Growing your own plants from seed is really simple and really easy, and it's not too late to start now. The main problem that you might come up against with lockdown is where to source your seeds. But actually what I've found is that you can still get them really easily online. Some places that I use are eBay for one, Sarah Raven is also fantastic, and Chiltern seeds are really good too. All you need is some old pots which you might recycle, some compost and some seeds. If you don't have any old pots, then what you can use is some old toilet roll holders, such as this, or old yogurt pots or soup pots. It's amazing what you find in compost. My brother-in-law would be absolutely terrified at this point. He hates spiders. So today I'm going to sow some seeds that I'm going to use in the cutting garden. I'm going to sow some sweet pea, and I'm also going to sow something called zinnia, which is a nice late flowering plant. So I'm going to sow the sweet peas first. If I'd been a bit more organised like my mum, I would have sown my sweet peas at the end of last year and allowed them to get a nice root system going over the winter, but sadly I'm not that organised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my pen, and this is what you would call a dibber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put holes into my compost using my dibber, so using the side of my pen or the end of my pen. What a racket! I'm going to sow these sweet peas about 1 inch deep, and then I'm going to cover them back up with soil. Those of you who know sweet peas know that they produce a gorgeous scent in the summer. They'll fill a whole room with their fragrance. And now I just cover the holes up with a little bit more compost. And most importantly, I've got my label with what I've sown written on it, and also the date, which is quite helpful. Put this in a sunny windowsill. Make sure that I keep the compost well watered until I start to see the shoots emerging. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it out into the garden so that it gets used to the cold air before I plant it out in maybe 4 to 6 weeks' time. If you want to make a pot out of an old toilet roll holder, then all you have to do is simply fold the bottom bits in. Really just so that it holds the compost in the bottom and it doesn't all leak out. Quite simple really. So for the zinnia, I'm going to use the toilet roll holder just as an example. All I need to do really here is take a seed. I would just actually put one seed in something as small as this, as this pot. I'll just place it on the top and then cover that again with a little fine layer of compost. I've already got my label written up for this one, so it's called Zinnia Green Envy. I'm just going to put that in, and again, put that in a sunny windowsill, keep it well watered, maybe putting it on a tray so that it doesn't drip onto your windowsill, and then again waiting for the shoots to emerge before bringing it outside and then planting out in a couple of months' time. I'm lucky enough to have a conservatory attached to the house, so what I've done with these, I've just kept them on the floor and kept them really nicely well watered, and afterwards I'm just going to give the floor a really good scrub. This is some borage that I planted, and we'll see here when I planted it the 22nd of March, and look how healthy it is already. So I'm going to just keep this well watered. I'm going to start bringing it outside during the day, bringing it back in at night to protect it from frosts, and then it's going to be ready really to plant out in the next couple of weeks. These are seeds of some calendula that I sowed already about 6 weeks ago. So I've brought them onto a stage where I can now start bringing them outside, and I'm actually going to plant these out in about 2 or 3 weeks. All plants have different requirements, so just make sure you read the seed packet instructions to find out how long they take to germinate and what temperature they like to be at. Something I really like to do is help people with their gardening problems. So if you've got a question that you'd like to ask, please send it in to the Bonnie Gardener Facebook page. Paul got in touch this week to ask about what he should do with his magnolia. So you'll see the magnolia is growing in front of his front room window, and it's getting a bit too big for the space. Paul, it's all about quality, not quantity. Wait until the magnolia is finished flowering and then cut it back even just a couple of foot, and next year it will still provide all those nice flowers but on shorter stems. It would be great if you could send in photos and videos of your garden and your plants, and we'll put details on the Facebook page about how you can do that.
Hello, I'm the Gruff Gardener, and I thought I would show you around my garden.
Good morning. I'd like you to listen for the woodpeckers before anything. I'm going to see if you can see me, but I don't know if you will be able to because I'm not very good at this. As you'll see, I'm still in my pyjamas, and for any social work nosy people, I was at my computer at 7 o'clock this morning, so I'm having a wee break.
Let's see. Well, good morning to you. This is our turn, mine and Amy's turn, to do our video.
Hello and welcome to the Laidlaw garden. Now I'm afraid I can't really take much credit for this garden. It's all been done by my lovely husband, who's washing his car just now.
Let's see what's growing in the garden this week. This is a star magnolia, or a Magnolia stellata. It's one of my favourite plants and one of the first to flower in the garden at this time of year. It's really a perfect plant as well for a small garden because it never grows too tall or too wide, unlike Paul's magnolia, which is a little bit bigger. These are forget-me-nots. They're so sweet, they just show up all over the garden. Some people consider them as weeds, but I don't. I just love their little faces. This is a Euphorbia, which has just come into flower this week. It's a perfect flower for cutting actually, but it does have a sap which comes out the end of the stems. So when you cut it, simply put the stem in some hot water and that will stop it.
And finally, what else have you learnt this week?
Bonnie has learnt a new way to torment our cat Charlie. Thank you for watching. Please check us out on Facebook and remember to subscribe to the channel.